I'm in my PJs. It's 11:40 p.m. I have to talk quietly because the puppy is sleeping. You know what that means. It's time for another Read-A-Thon. I'm a little nervous because despite my best efforts, my nap schedule got a little thrown off throughout the day. The last time I did a Read-A-Thon, I was able to get like 7 hours of sleep beforehand, or at least the last time I did a full actual 24-hour Read-A-Thon, I was able to get about 6-7 hours of sleep in beforehand, and that didn't happen this time. This time I got in, I'm gonna say, at best 3 hours of sleep ahead of time. So we'll see how we do, but I'm also so excited for 2 reasons. The first is that I have a buddy joining me this time. One of my closest and dearest friends is joining me for her first Read-A-Thon. So she is on her way here pretty much right about now, and we're gonna get started in about 20 minutes here. So I'm really looking forward to being able to do this with somebody. It's been a while since I've been able to do that, and I've just found in the past that I always do better when I have someone joining me. For my Read-A-Thon, I feel more motivated. I'm better at staying on track. So I think we're gonna have a really fun day. Will we be able to read a full 24 hours? We'll find out. But will we have fun? We sure will. I'm also excited though because I'm planning to tackle as much of the MURDERBOT diaries as I possibly can today. I've wanted to read the MURDERBOT diaries for years now. I've seen it recommended so many times. I've been getting more and more into sci-fi as the years go on, and this just seems like a really fun, digestible series. I love that they're all short. Again, with my energy and with the fact that there will be about a 3-hour gap in our day where the two of us are attending a book club, considering all those factors, our energy, the small break that we're gonna have to take. I don't know how much of this I'm actually gonna get through, but if I can get through half of it, close to half of it, that would be awesome. If less, okay. If more, fantastic. We'll see how it goes as the day goes on. I don't really have anything super sci-fi to wear, so I wore my old Doctor Who shirt to start the day with. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go downstairs and start getting set up, get ready for Christy to get here, and we're gonna get started as close to midnight as we possibly can. So here we go, 3rd Read-A-Thon of the year. Super excited, a little bit nervous about the energy, but more excited than anything. Let's go. Christy's here! We're a little bit late, but that's okay. And we're both really tired, but that's also okay. Gonna go ahead and get started. Woohoo! We're both drinking Ultra Strawberry Dreams. Sponsor us, Monster. Ready? Cheers. Cheers. That's so yummy, oh my gosh. Strawberry. First MURDERBOT. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It picked up the pace so fast. You get attached to the character so quickly. It's got a really good style. I love MURDERBOT. It's a great narrator, great character. So I'm having fun. I am, fortunately, already starting to feel super sleepy, so I might have to like switch up where I'm sitting or just drink more of my energy drink. I don't know. But we're trucking along, and I have high hopes for being able to get through at least a few of these today since they're so teeny tiny. I'll probably finish this one in the next. My guess is an hour or so. So we'll see how we do. Keep on trucking. Alrighty, it is 2:47 a.m. and I have just finished. All systems red. I think I'm gonna take a small breather before I start the next one. Christy, how are you doing?
So good.
So good.
122 pages in this.
Nice. Making progress. Doing great. Trying not to fall asleep. Doing our best. Check in again soon. 4:20 in the morning. Sick. Christy has finished part 1 of The Lies of Locke Lamora, which is how many pages about?
700. Oh, 200 for the
I was like, yeah, 700 pages. I am about 60 pages away-ish from the end of book 2 of Murderbot. We're both suffering a little bit, but we're here still, and we're going, and sleepy, but it's cool. It is 5:04 a.m. I have just finished book 2 of Murderbot, Artificial Condition. My eyeballs need a brief break, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to whatever that word was. Move right on to book 3. Christy, how are you doing over there?
sleepy.
What are we reading?
Gideon 9.
Exciting.
34 pages.
Ooh, making progress. We've decided on a coffee break, and we're doing this fun heat-changing dinosaur mug because, as Christy put it, we're reading something
Bone
with lots of bones. It is almost 5:30. We have just made coffee because we're suffering. Christy's still working on Gideon the Night. I am about to start Rogue Protocol. We're planning to go sit outside in just a little bit here so we can watch the sun come up, so that'll be nice. But in the meantime, we're gonna keep going. Y'all can see that or hear me over the garbage truck, but there's a rainbow right there in the clouds. It's still pretty. It is about 6:20 in the morning. We just watched the sunrise. It was beautiful. We're gonna take a brief break to get ready for the day, and I have to wake the puppy up in about 40 minutes here, so also take a break to take care of him, but we'll get back to it when we get back to it. Okay, we are taking a, not brief, but a scheduled break to drop the puppy off at my parents' house and go to book club, and then I think we're gonna go to Target right after that and peruse for Halloween things, but we're still making good progress. I don't know if you can see Mr. Man in the back there. It's been a minute since he's made an appearance, but he is huge, huh, puppy? He's brooding because he's in his crate. But yeah, we're gonna go do that, enjoy the rest of our morning, and yeah, keep you guys updated. Puppy, say hello. He is not having it. Here, baby. You ready? Come on. There we go. Big man. Kisses for the camera. We just got to the park. It's about 1:10 p.m.-ish. Very long break for book club, but got some good socialization. Ran to Target, ran home to grab snacks, got some coffees, so we're gonna keep on trucking along, see how long we last at the park, because it is very toasty outside, but we have a nice breeze and some shade, so we'll see if that's enough. But in the meantime, gotta get back to reading because we're a bit overdue. Here we go. Yeah.
Not all in one nice piece. Oh, come on.
I believe in you. It's almost 2:30. I just finished book 3 of the Murderbot Diaries, Rogue Protocol, and I realized at this point in the day that I have said absolutely nothing about what I think about the series like I usually do. So just to take a brief second to give my eyes a rest before I start book 4 and just kind of check in about how it's going. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm just gonna parrot what all the reviews on the covers have said because it's how I feel. But it is just such a lovely look at the compassion and gentleness that humans are capable of through the perspective of someone who is not human. It's surprisingly, despite all the, hardcore action scenes and the fact that it's called Murderbot and that it's programmed to kill and to destroy, the fact that there is so much tenderness and moments of gentleness within it, I think it's very sweet and surprising. So it's action-packed, it's fast-paced, but also surprisingly very touching. So I'm having a good time. I am slowing down a little bit. That big break in the middle of the day was both good for me and has kind of slowed my momentum, so hoping I can pick back up with that as it goes. But still happy with the progress I've made today. Gonna go ahead and get started on book 4 in a few minutes here and see how far I can get. About 6:10 p.m. I have finally finished book 4 of Murderbot, Exit Strategy. It's still fantastic. I'm still having a great time. I am definitely slowing down. It's taking me about double the time that it usually takes me to read at the speed that I usually do. So definitely getting tired. I think we are going to head to a cafe as it starts getting dark out so that we are out of the house when the sleepy hours hit. I think I'm probably approaching my last book of the day because book 5 of Murderbot is the only one that's classified as a novel and not a novella. It's about 350, I think that's what it said earlier. About 350 pages long, so it's the longest by far. And with me slowing down, I know it's probably going to take me the remaining 6 hours, more or less, to tackle it. So if I can get even part of the way through it, I'll be pleased. If I can get all the way through it, that'd be really cool. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Do you care to comment on how it's going for you?
I'm 210 pages into this.
That's pretty good.
I alternate between feeling like I'm going
So we're doing great.
We're in the totally fine zone.
Are you enjoying it?
Oh yeah.
Good.
It's a good time.
That's what matters, right?
I won't remember it tomorrow.
We're having fun now. Hello. We are about to head to a coffee shop because we're losing our minds in this house, and we have about, that pretty much is what's happening. We have 4 hours left, so we're gonna leave and try some, how'd you say, novelty, because we're going to a tea bar.
And we're bringing novels.
And we're bringing novels. Can you tell we're running on almost no sleep? We're doing
20
great.
hours, folks.
Woo.
20 hours.
I have switched back to glasses because the contact solution was doing nothing at this point. So change of scenery, some maybe fun teas and desserts. We'll see how our bodies feel because we've snacked so much today. Both of us feel a little bit, but it's fine. We're gonna keep going because we're committed. Next round, let's go. I just have to document my lemon mousse cake because it's super cute. How's the tea? Good, exciting. All right, here we go. From the cafe, both fading pretty fast, but hanging in there. Gonna keep on going for these past couple hours. I have about a lot left in this book. I've only managed about 120 pages, so I will keep pushing and see how far I can get before the end. But yeah, that's how it's going. Bubs, how are you doing?
Yeah, over 100 pages, but I think I'll finish just by midnight.
Nice. Exciting. Got our ambiance, got, I was gonna say our energy, but that's not existent right now. We've got our gumption. Anyway, I'm stalling, here we go. We can't hang. It's 10:49 and neither of us is absorbing story anymore, and it hasn't been for the past hour. So in the spirit of the Read-A-Thon, where the intention is to read as much as you can, 24 hours, I'm gonna say we've read enough and we've done our best. It's starting to be at the expense where we're no longer enjoying the story or even comprehending the story.
I need to remember what happened in the last 100 pages of this book.
A little bit.
And at this point, I don't know what's going on.
Me neither. So, reminding ourselves we're not 21 anymore. And the last time I did this, I was able to get in a full 7 hours of sleep beforehand, and it was around 11 that I started crashing. And this time, she and I are both running on maybe 4 at the most. So I'd say us making it to almost 11 again is pretty admirable, if I do say so myself.
Pretty scary.
Am I just saying things to make myself not feel like a quitter? Even though I read 4 books today? Yeah, it's fine.
We love an overachiever.
I don't have problems. And at this point, I'm just rambling because I'm tired. So, have a more cohesive conclusion at a later time and date. Not anywhere near this moment, I don't think. Christy's a trooper. This was her first Read-A-Thon.
Last.
And last. I ruined it.
Age ruined it.
But despite the exhaustion, we had a fun day. We did a lot of fun things. And we mentioned book club took up like a 4-hour chunk this morning, so that was a big scoop out of our day where we would have been productive with reading, but we're still doing reading related things. So I think all in all, it's a pretty successful day. Language doesn't compute anymore, but it's fine. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Journey. You're so welcome. You're welcome anytime.
Tomorrow, same place, same time.
Let me sleep for 2 hours.
Yep.
I'll meet you in a second here. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Final recap update at the end later. See y'all in a few seconds. Okay, it is now Tuesday, so it's been a few days since I have finished the Read-A-Thon, or almost finished the Read-A-Thon. It just really reached a point where neither of us was even, like, we were conscious, but we were not paying attention anymore. We were no longer in a place where we could fulfill the need of the Read-A-Thon. We were no longer enjoying it, no longer even comprehending anything we were reading or absorbing anything we were reading, so I had to call it quits a little early, which is okay. A little disappointing, but still okay. But I've had a couple days to catch up on sleep and to gather some of my thoughts, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take a minute to... Is my camera crooked? I'm realizing my camera was crooked for a lot of that, so ignore that if you noticed. Had a couple days to sleep on it, gather my thoughts, and read a little bit more of MURDERBOT, but I'm only going to give the tally for what I actually accomplished on the day. So, final wrap-up for this read-a-thon. I tackled All Systems Red, and Artificial Condition, and Rogue Protocol, and Exit Strategy, and I got 152 pages of Network Effect. So 4 and like almost 50% of a 5th book, which I think is probably tied for the highest number of books I've read during a read-a-thon. I want to say when I did my Percy Jackson read-a-thon just on my own a few years ago, I want to say I finished the first 4 books of that series as well. I'd have to fact check that, but it's funny, I think this is the lowest number of pages I've gotten during a read-a-thon, but almost the highest number of books. So calculating all of these and the 152 pages of Network Effect that I completed, I tackled 789 pages this read-a-thon. Lowest number I think I've ever done during a read-a-thon, but that's okay. I'm still so pleased that I finished a little bit more than half of this series, which was my goal at the beginning of the day anyway. So for the rest of this week, I will be working on finishing up Network Effect. I think I've got just under 100 pages left now, and then I still have Fugitive Telemetry and System Collapse, so the last 2 books of this series. Even though it wasn't necessarily the most like perfect read-a-thon day, like I said in other parts of this video, we did have to take a pretty prolonged break in the middle of the morning. I had a book club scheduled and Christy joined me. I thought that was going to be about a 3-hour break, considering having to drop the puppy off at my parents' house to let him stay the night so that we could all have our space to do our things, then the actual book club itself. But taking travel time into account and like getting to our next location even after book club, that was like a 4-hour chunk of the day that we'd lost. So considering that, I think we would have both gotten a little bit further had we not had that 4-hour chunk, but that was really nice to have that break in the middle of the day. It was kind of a nice brain reset. We got to have good food and good company and talk about books, so it was still a bookish thing that we were doing, and I'm glad we got to have that little breather in the middle of it. It was just a little bit longer than I think we had really anticipated, so that definitely ate out a big chunk of the day and probably set us back a little bit. But even considering that, we had so much fun during this read-a-thon. It was so great to do it with the buddy again. We had a really great time hanging out at the park for a little while. We had so many fun snacks. We loved that little tea and dessert bar that we went to. Were we absolutely losing our minds by the end? Yeah, we weren't necessarily enjoying it in that last hour anymore. But for the rest of the day, it was a really fun day of just getting to be in each other's company and do something we enjoy and both encounter a new series that we were both really excited about. So she was tackling the Locked Tomb books for the first time, which I just did a review video on if you're curious about that, as well as a part of The Lies of Locke Lamora. And I've been meaning, like I said at the beginning, at least I think I said this at the beginning, it's been a few days since I filmed now, I've been meaning to read MURDERBOT for so long, and I'm so pleased to be finally doing it. I'm really enjoying myself so far. It's been such a fun series, and I'll get into more of my thoughts about that, but just continuing the read-a-thon wrap-up. I I would say all in all, it was a successful day, and it was such a special time with my friend and with these books and getting to do this. I can't get over that sunrise we got to watch. Obviously, the last time I did a full 24 hours when I did the Lunar Chronicles a few months ago, I watched the sun come up, but I wasn't sitting outside for it, so that was really special. And it was just, yeah, it was a really nice day. Even though we didn't necessarily make the entire 24 hours, we got a ton of reading done. We really enjoyed each other's company. We really enjoyed all the things we got to do and the books we were reading. So I would say, all in all, successful read-a-thon day, even though it's the least amount of pages I've been able to tackle in a read-a-thon. But getting into my thoughts just quickly before I wrap up about Murderbot itself. I didn't really know what to expect going into Murderbot. I understood the premise of the story. I knew that much, but I didn't really know anything about the tone, the plot, anything I was supposed to be expecting. And it's been such a delight. I don't want to say it's on the same level as some of the other things that I've read this year as far as like, oh my gosh, it's my new favorite thing, but I'm really enjoying it, and I really do have quite an intense fondness for these books, and I developed an intense fondness for these books very quickly. I love Murderbot. I love this robot's perspective about humanity and about just becoming who you are and learning to do the right thing and coming into your own and understanding what you're supposed to do. I think it's such a surprisingly, like I said earlier in this video, it's such a surprisingly tender and sweet story. Obviously, you've got some like horrifying instances that we're going over. There's a lot of violence. There's a fair amount of language. It's all pretty intense. Obviously, it's set in space, and we're dealing with, you know, these horrible evil corporations coming in and mucking things up for everybody, and you've got these really intense fight scenes and injuries and people being threatened, and there's a lot going on, like, intensively speaking. However, the meat of the story and the heart of the story, and what clearly has made everyone love it so much, is the surprising humanness of this robot. I just love the idea and the message that the more self-aware it becomes, the more it comes into its own and decides what it wants to be for itself, the more that it spends time with humanity on its own terms. The dominating feature and characteristic of this character is their awareness for others, if that makes sense. The more self-aware it becomes, the more aware of others it becomes. And I think that's such a lovely picture of humanity itself as well, of what it means to be a person, is the more self-aware you are, the more you learn to notice the needs of others, the more you prioritize the other people around you, or that message that you should be doing that, the more self-aware you become. I think it's a C.S. Lewis quote that kind of echoes the same idea, but that his message is more about humility, about, I'm going to butcher the quote because I don't have it perfectly memorized, but the idea that humility isn't so much about thinking less of yourself, but thinking about yourself less. And I love how that concept is kind of mirrored, not necessarily in the humility aspect, but the idea that the more self-aware Murderbot becomes, the more, again, aware of others and aware of its relation to others around them it becomes. And I love that the main characteristic, the main thing that we are developing about this character is that no matter how much it tries to be a lone ranger and to eke out on its own and to discover these things for itself, it always returns to this need to protect the people around it and this just overwhelming care that it has for its humans. I just think it's so sweet and so special, and it's such a lovely message and picture in the midst of this epic space battle with the evil corporations and space exploration. And it's just, there's so much going on that's so quintessentially sci-fi and epic and intense, while also being at its core very gentle and sweet. So I'm really, really appreciating that about these books so far, and I'm anxious to get through the rest of them. I'm slowing down a little bit with the novel here, but I'm slowly making progress. I think my brain's just tired from all the reading on Saturday, so I'm slowly kind of getting back into the groove of being able to read more quickly again. But yeah, I'm enjoying them so much, and every single time I picked up the next one, I always felt like it just continued to get better and better, and I liked each individual installment on its own, and I like it as a part of a collective. The whole thing has just been super fun to read. It's another one that is making me chuckle out loud. I don't want to say laugh out loud because I'm not like, belly laughing at anything, but I am snickering, I am giggling at certain lines. I read so many of the lines out loud to Christy as she was reading lines from Gideon the Ninth out loud to me, just things that were amusing, that I thought were delightful. It just makes me laugh. My favorite recently has been them asking Murderbot if it's okay, and internally it's like, no, I'm not okay. I need to go have an emotion in private. It's just so silly in the best way possible. I love it. So really anxious to continue reading, really enjoying what I've read so far, and I'm so glad I have finally picked this up. And I think that's all. I think that's everything to cover for the Read-A-Thon. This is my second to last Read-A-Thon for the year. I said at the beginning of the year that I would be doing one quarterly, so I have one more. I have 2 ideas for what I could do for my next Read-A-Thon, and I haven't quite decided, so no updates really on what to expect for that yet, but I will obviously let you know when it's time. In the meantime, meantime, I don't really have anything big coming up. So yeah, I think that's all my updates. Thank you, as always, so much for tuning in. I always have fun making these and filming them and just seeing how the day went overall. So I appreciate you enjoying it along with me, just in a different format. As always, you could also follow me on Instagram and Goodreads. Those links are below. And if you feel so inclined, you are also welcome to subscribe, and you can do that below as well. In the meantime, happy reading, happy writing, and I will chat with you all soon.